Have you ever felt like you were falling behind in life? You're working hard every single day, you're exhausted, and yet your pockets are always empty. Then you look on social media or walk down the street, and you see people your age living a life you can only dream of. The cars, the clothes, the soft life. It makes you want to take a shortcut, doesn't it? Well, today I'm going to tell you the story of a girl named Sophia. She was only 18, full of hope, and just wanted a better life for herself and her family. But she made one single decision, one ride in a fine car, that cost her everything. If you love deep dive stories, life journeys, and African folklores, you're in the right place. I post videos like this regularly to explore the paths we take and the stories that define us. So, before we get into how Sophia's life changed forever, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video so you never miss a new story. It was a Tuesday evening. The Lagos sun was doing its worst, and Sophia was trekking home through the legendary traffic. She was a student, but her mind wasn't on her books, it was on her empty stomach and the holes in the soles of her shoes. Then, the world seemed to slow down. A black Mercedes, clean and polished like a mirror, pulled up right beside her. The window rolled down slowly, revealing a man named Daniel. He looked like he walked straight out of a magazine. Clean suit, calm voice, and that scent of fresh money that makes you forget your own troubles. "Get in," he said, his voice like velvet. "I'll drop you home. No stress." Sophia hesitated. We all think we would walk away, but imagine the heat, the noise, and the hunger. She opened the door. At that moment, Sophia sank into the passenger seat, the cool blast of AC wrapping around her like a long overdue hug. For the first time in weeks, the sweat on her back stopped stinging. Daniel didn't say much at first, just drove smoothly through the chaos of Third Mainland Bridge traffic like it didn't exist. Soft R&B played low, and he asked simple questions. "How was your day? What are you studying?" No pressure, no rush. It felt normal, nice, even. By the time they reached her area in Maryland, the sun had dipped lower, painting the sky orange. He pulled over near her gate but didn't unlock the doors right away. "Listen," he said, turning to her with that calm smile. "I don't do this often. But you looked like you could use a break. Here." He slipped a crisp 20,000 Nigerian nairas note into her hand. "For transport tomorrow, and maybe something nice to eat tonight." Sophia stared at the money, then at him. Her heart raced, not from fear, but from something else. Relief? Excitement? She mumbled a thank you, stepped out, and watched the black Mercedes glide away like a dream she wasn't sure she'd earned. That night, she couldn't sleep. The money felt heavy in her bag. She kept replaying the ride, the leather seats, the quiet engine, the way Daniel looked at her like she was interesting, not just another girl in traffic. The next morning, she called her two closest friends, Zoe and Blessing, over to her tiny room. They squeezed onto the bed while she spilled everything, word for word, even imitating Daniel's velvet voice. The girls screamed. "Chai, Sophia. You entered a stranger's car? In this Lagos?" Zoe laughed, half shocked, half jealous. "But see the money now," Blessing said, snatching the 20,000 Nigerian nairas note and fanning herself with it. "Girl, this is provision. God sent an angel in a Benz." They hyped her up for hours. Zoe said it was fate. Blessing joked that Sophia had leveled up without even trying. They made her promise to text if he reached out again. "Be smart, but don't dull yourself," Zoe advised. "If he's real, enjoy it. Life is hard already." Sophia laughed with them, feeling light for the first time in months. She bought herself a proper meal, jollof rice with extra chicken, and even fixed her shoe soles with part of the cash. For once, she felt seen, chosen, sure that this was the start of something good. She wasn't naive. She told herself she could handle whatever came next. Daniel seemed different. Respectful. Generous. When his number flashed on her phone 2 days later with a simple, "How are you today? Still trekking?" she smiled at the screen. She was happy. Her friends were cheering her on. And deep down, she felt so sure. She texted back, "I'm good. Thank you again for the other day." Little did she know, the dream was only beginning to stretch its claws. For months, life really was a dream. Daniel moved like someone who had rewritten the rules of Lagos. He didn't just buy Sophia things, he curated her entire world. The latest iPhone dropped in her palm before the cues even formed. Human hair bundles so long and silky they looked edited. Designer bags she used to scroll past on Instagram. Restaurants in Victoria Island where the menu had no prices, only descriptions that made her head spin. Why suffer when you can enjoy? Daniel would say, that deep laugh rolling out like bass from expensive speakers. He'd pull her close in the back of the tinted G-Wagon, whispering promises between kisses. Sophia was glowing. Her skin looked brighter, her walk had swagger. She posted subtle stories, champagne flutes, sunsets from rooftops, feet in infinity pools, and her friends ate it up. Zoe and Blessing came over to the new spot one weekend, Daniel's mansion in Lekki Phase 1, the kind of place that made their jaws drop when the gate swung open. "Chai, Sophia. This is a palace, oh my God." Blessing screamed, running barefoot across marble floors. Zoe just stood there, eyes wide. "Babe, this is not normal. But God, it's beautiful." They spent the afternoon by the pool, sipping mocktails. Sophia rubbed her growing belly and told them about the twins. She is pregnant. Daniel had already started designing a nursery. "He says we'll live like royalty forever," she said, eyes shining. "No more trekking, no more electricity issues. Just peace." The girls hugged her tight. "You deserve this," Zoe said softly. "Just keep your eyes open, okay? We love you." Blessing laughed. "Yes, oh. But see this life. I'm jealous, but I'm happy for you." Sophia felt untouchable. She dropped out of school quietly. No drama, just a quick email and "I've found my path" mindset. What was a degree when she already had everything? Months rolled on. Her belly grew round and proud. Daniel was away more, business trips, he said. But when he came back, he came bearing gifts, more jewelry, more cash, more promises. She felt the baby's kick and smiled at the ceiling, thinking, this is it. This is the big life. Then the cracks started showing, small at first, like hairline fractures in glass. Daniel's phone calls became shorter. The laughter sounded forced. One night he came home late, smelling of smoke and something metallic. He snapped when she asked where he'd been. "Don't question me, Sophia. Everything I do is for us." She brushed it off. Stress, she told herself. Big men have pressure. But the side eye from her mum turned into full conversations. Who is this man? Where does the money really come from? Sophia would smile tightly and change the subject. Then came the night everything shifted. Daniel left for one quick meeting and didn't come back. His phone went off. The security man at the gate said no one had seen him leave. Sophia sat in the massive living room, twins moving inside her, staring at the black screen of her phone. The mansion suddenly felt too big, too quiet, too cold. She tried to call Zoe and Blessing, but the network was bad, like the world itself was trying to keep her isolated. Daniel got back home late that night drunk and went straight to bed. The dream hadn't ended yet. But the fire had already started smoldering beneath the shine. At 2 a.m., the silence was shattered. Loud, heavy pounding on the door. Shouting. "Open up! EFCC! Police!" The bedroom lights snapped on like judgment. Sophia, 9 months heavy with twins, scrambled to sit up, heart slamming against her ribs. Flashlights cut through the darkness like knives. Boots stormed in, black uniforms, rifles raised, voices barking orders. Daniel didn't resist. He just stood there in his boxers, hands up, face blank. No apologies. No explanations. Not even a glance at her. They tore through the mansion like termites. Mattresses flipped. Wardrobes emptied. Drawers yanked out. Under the king-size bed, they dragged out black duffel bags, zippers open to reveal neatly packed bricks of white powder. Cocaine. Enough to make headlines. Sophia's knees buckled. She clutched her belly as if the babies could shield her from what was happening. "Everything in this house is proceeds of crime," one officer said. "Everything is seized. All of it." They took the cars from the garage. The designer furniture. The flat screens. Even the fridge, unplugged and hauled out like it owed them money. Sophia watched in frozen horror as men in overalls carried away the life she'd built, piece by glittering piece. Daniel was cuffed and led out. As they pushed him toward the waiting vans, he finally looked at her, just once. No sorrow. No regret. Just cold calculation, like she'd been part of the transaction all along. By dawn, Sophia stood on the street outside the gate in her nightgown, barefoot, belly protruding, surrounded by the few plastic bags of clothes they'd allowed her to keep. The mansion gates were locked behind crime scene tape. Neighbors whispered from balconies. Some took videos. The government had declared the entire property proceeds of illicit activity. No mercy for the side chick who'd enjoyed the ride. She had nowhere to go. Her parents' house in Maryland felt a world away, and pride burned hotter than shame. The twins kicked hard, as if reminding her she wasn't alone, but she felt more alone than ever. Her phone was dead, no charger, no power bank left. She walked. Slow, painful steps along the Lekki Expressway as morning traffic began to build. Horns blared. Okada riders swerved. People stared. Around 7 a.m., she collapsed on a curb near a filling station, tears mixing with sweat. That's when Zoe and Blessing found her. Someone from the estate had recognized her and posted a blurry video on WhatsApp groups. The girls dropped everything and came running. They hugged her so tight she could barely breathe. "Sophia, oh God," Zoe whispered, crying too. Blessing wiped her face. "We're here now. You're not doing this alone." They took her to Blessing's one-bedroom apartment in Antony. No mansion. No AC. Just a fan, a mattress on the floor, and real love, the kind that doesn't come with conditions or price tags. The twins came 2 weeks later, healthy boys, loud and strong, born in a public hospital with Zoe holding her hand and Blessing outside praying. Sophia named them Hope and Redemption. Daniel? His still awaiting trial. The headlines call him a major player in an international syndicate. Sophia hasn't seen him since that night. She doesn't want to. Life isn't a dream anymore. It's hard, very hard. She sells small things online, goes back to school part-time when she can, leans on her girls and her mum, who finally softened after seeing the babies. But the glow is different now. Not from expensive creams or Benz rides. It's quieter, tougher, real. In Lagos, they say what goes around comes around, sometimes in sirens at 2 a.m., sometimes in the arms of friends who never left. Sophia learned the hardest way, not everything that shines is gold. And sometimes, the fire that burns the dream down leaves space for something stronger to grow. The years that followed were a test of fire, raw, unrelenting, and purifying. Sophia started from absolute zero. No savings, no sponsors, just 2 growing boys who needed food, diapers, and a mother who refused to break completely. She sold pure water sachets by the roadside in the blistering Lagos heat, balancing the heavy basin on her head while dodging Okada riders and shouting pure water. Cold one, to passing buses. Her hands cracked from the sun, her back ached, but every 50 Nigerian Naira's note was a small victory. She learned quickly, hustle has no pride, only survival. She washed plates in bukas and small eateries, scrubbing greasy pots till her fingers pruned, earning just enough to buy Gary and milk for the twins. Some nights she cried into the sink, but she never missed a shift. Then came Michael. He seemed different at first. Kind words, small gifts, promises of stability. For a moment, Sophia let herself hope again. But hope turned to hurt. He drank too much, shouted too loud, and one day he left with half her savings and a promise to come back. He never did. That second heartbreak nearly finished her. But the twins, Hope and Redemption, were walking now, calling her mummy with those big innocent eyes. She wiped her tears, picked up her bag, and kept moving. One Sunday, everything shifted. At a small local church in Yaba, a kind-eyed nurse named Sister Grace noticed Sophia in the back pew, twins on her lap, exhausted but still singing every hymn with heart. Sister Grace saw the fire still burning behind the fatigue. "You have strong hands," the nurse told her after service. "And stronger spirit. Come to night classes. Nursing school. I'll help with the forms." Sophia laughed at first. Nursing? Her? But Sister Grace didn't laugh back. She enrolled. Night after night, she studied under a flickering bulb in Blessing's room. Books open on the table, twins asleep on the mattress beside her, one hand turning pages, the other gently rocking a cradle. She failed exams, retook them, cried over anatomy diagrams, but she passed. One step. Then another. Years later, Sophia stands in crisp white scrubs, badge gleaming, head nurse, Lagos University Teaching Hospital. The ward hums with her calm authority, directing juniors, comforting patients, saving lives with steady hands and a heart that's been broken and mended too many times. She doesn't have the Mercedes anymore. No mansion, no infinity pool. But she has a modest 2-bedroom flat she pays for herself. A steady salary that covers school fees for the boys, now bright primary schoolers. And peace, the deep, unshakable kind that comes from knowing you built something real. And her greatest treasure? Those 2 boys who run into her arms every evening, shouting, "Mummy, the nurse is home." Sophia understands now, the shine she chased was fool's gold. The real treasure was the strength she carried all along, the resilience that turned ashes into purpose. In Lagos, life will test you with fire. But if you walk through it without losing your soul, you come out refined. Sophia did. And she's still walking. A new sunrise every morning, reminding her, every ending is just space for a better beginning. If this story touched you, drop a comment below. Did Sophia's journey inspire you? What's your own fire story? I will read every one. And if you love these real-life twists, folklores of grit and grace, subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's keep walking these roads together. Thank you for staying till the very end. See you in the next story.